Welcome back to Couch Talk, everybody. I'm your host, Joe, and today I'm here to talk to you about the new trailer that just dropped for Fast and Furious 9. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm super excited for this. I have a buddy, John, that he watched this trailer with me today, and he was just like, I can't even take it anymore. He couldn't take it anymore after 7, but he saw 7 because it was Paul Walker's final one. He didn't see 8 because he saw the trailer of Dwayne Johnson pushing a nuke with his bare hands, and now we have Vin Diesel pulling a Spider-Man with his car. I gotta tell you, I love these movies to death, but they are ridiculous. Like, even to the point where Michael Bay would be like, no way, I can't do that. Michael Bay wouldn't put some of this stuff in the script. And you know what? That's why it works, though, because the movie, it takes itself seriously, but not too seriously. The first one was obviously the most realistic. It was really just inspired by street racing in New York City, which the director of the first one wanted to do, but he couldn't because New York City didn't want him to promote that. So he had to make it out in LA. And as the movies have gone on, it's like you can't just keep making the same movie. Like, each movie can't just be about races because they'll get stale, they'll get boring, no matter how good the characters are. So you need to keep upping the ante. And unfortunately, they're at a point now where they came to Fast and Furious 4, which is the last of like the somewhat arguable realistic ones, which I would say that cave scene was not realistic at all, but they weren't making boatloads of money at that point. They were only making like $300 million, which is like, look, that's good money, but it wasn't $1 billion like the way they are now. And I mean, someone argued that bringing The Rock in kind of revitalized the franchise, and it definitely added an oomph to it. Like, The Rock, he's like $100 million guarantee whatever movie he's in. But I don't think it was necessarily him that revitalized it. It was more the turn that Justin Lin decided to take the franchise in and make it more of an adventure film. Make it feel more like a blockbuster and less of just like a crime thriller. And it really helped. And he also, made this big ensemble cast. It was essentially like the Avengers of this universe. They're bringing all these characters in that were from other movies, although they still haven't given credit to my boy from Too Fast, Too Furious. Miss that guy. But, he made this movie kind of feel like it had a lot more energy than it had any right to be. And, no pun intended, but he really shot some adrenaline into this movie, some nos, if you will, and really kicked it into high gear and made it a lot more fun to watch. But I think overall what really makes these movies work is the element of family, because some people would argue that family is your blood. Some people would argue that family is friends. I have a little bit of family, but not much, and I grew up a lot being around my friends and their families, and I consider a lot of my close friends my brothers. I don't have any of my own. I was raised with my grandma. Not going to get into it, but then, you have someone like my friend Chris, who he's close with all 65 of his cousins, and, all he does is hang out with his family. Regardless, this movie has something for everyone. It has actual blood family, but it's also, family could be anyone you put your life on the line for. It doesn't just have to be blood. And at its core, this movie is about sticking together through thick and thin, and I think that's what so many people relate to, because everybody has somebody that they love, that they would do anything for, whether it be an actual family member or a friend or a significant other or, even a dog. And it's that will to just keep on trying that keeps bringing people back to the movies. Remember, I heard a quote once, and it was like, if you can't run, then jog. And if you can't jog, then walk. And if you can't walk, then crawl. But by all means, just keep on going. And that's kind of like what this movie does in every movie. Like, they get put in these impossible odds where they have to overcome something to help save somebody they love, and they always overcome it. And it's just that camaraderie in these movies, and that's the selling point of these movies. So when I'm watching Vin Diesel drive off of a cliff and have the one rope that's still attached across a canyon from a bridge hook onto the side of his wheel and ping him across the canyon onto the other side, yeah, it's fucking crazy and absolutely ridiculous, but it's fun. It's fun. Like, so many people, I have another buddy that he only likes movies that are like super serious, like dramas or like Oscar-worthy movies, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I love those movies too. I love Oscar-worthy movies, but I also like to think that the best cinema experience is these ridiculous blockbuster movies. I can go and watch Manchester by the Sea on my TV and get the same thing out of it that I would get in a movie theater, but I can't watch something like Fast and Furious or Transformers on my TV and get the same thing out of it. You want it on this big, huge screen with the huge surround sound. And my favorite thing about being in the movie theater is other people's reactions. Like when something's funny and the entire theater laughs together, that's the best part. And that's kind of like what this movie franchise does for me. And even though it's ridiculous, it's fun, and they know they're being ridiculous. And that's why it works. They don't take themselves too seriously. The plot twists are crazy. John Cena is now Vin Diesel's brother. Like, why have we never heard about this? And Vin Diesel's so big on family. And the fight scenes are ridiculous, but they're so well choreographed. Like, I can't wait to see Vin Diesel take on 40 dudes and then hold them all back with his bare hands. I'm excited for John Cena. I've never really been impressed with his work. I really liked him in this movie, The Marine, that came out like a decade ago. It was like one of his first. And I thought he was good in that, but ever since then, he kind of just... It's almost like he transitioned to that pacifier phase that Vin Diesel went through, or Are We There Yet with Ice Cube, but like never left it, and he keeps doing like family-friendly movies. But I'm really happy that I get to finally see him in something where he's going to really be able to kick ass. Look, this trailer is absolutely ridiculous, but the entire time I was watching it, I was laughing, I was screaming because of how awesome and cool the stunts were. I mean, Vin Diesel gets hit by a truck, and my friend next to me, he gets hit by a car. And my friend next to me was like, come on. And I'm like, yeah, no, come on. This is amazing. Like, I don't understand what, like, the disconnect between what we're seeing right now is. But, like, that's the thing. That's what you're going into this. You want to see Vin Diesel stomp on concrete and make the whole floor collapse and get hit by a car and jump across a bridge and level Dwayne The Rock Johnson in one punch. You want to see that stuff. This is the movie where you want to go in and you want to see macho-ness. This is like an adrenaline-fueled macho movie, and that's exactly what I want to see. And honestly, I loved the trailer before the very last clip. But when motherfucking Han comes out onto the scene, I lost my shit. I literally jumped out of my chair at work and like fucking fell back against the wall. I couldn't fucking believe it. They said that Justice for Han was coming before Hobbs and Shaw came out, and I thought that they were gonna do something for that within Hobbs and Shaw. And they have like that moment in the movie where like Jason Statham kind of like tells Dwayne The Rock Johnson that he's sorry for everything he's done, and then that was it. And I was like, was that justice? Just Jason Statham saying Hari, but it turns out the motherfucker didn't kill Han. That's because Jason Statham wasn't always really a bad guy. He probably was going to kill him, and then probably didn't. I don't really know. This is just speculation at this point. I don't think he actually killed him. Like, some people are like, he survived getting shot by him or whatever, and it's like, no. I just think he probably looked at him and was like, I'm going to let you go, but under a certain condition, and we're going to find out what those conditions were now. But I am so excited to have him back. My only question is, where's Brian? I know Brian's going to be in there somewhere. There's no good logical explanation that would make sense in terms of, Brian's just home watching the baby while his wife is out getting her ass kicked. He's going to show up. And if he doesn't show up for a majority of the film, he's going to show up at the end for like a brief second. And Fast and Furious 10 is going to be the last one. He's either going to be in the whole thing and Cody Walker is going to come, his brother, and they're going to CGI his face and we'll be in the whole thing. Or, that the end of the Fast and Furious 10 movie is going to be them all having a barbecue in Dom's backyard and Brian's going to show up. One way or another, we're going to get him. And for the people that aren't caught up, except for the fact that, Brian's dead, in Fast 7, when he passed away, Paul Walker's brother came in and they CGI'd his face onto his body, and he finished the scenes that Paul Walker couldn't finish, and it was pretty good. And I don't see why they wouldn't just do that this last time. All the Walkers would want this franchise to end with Brian back in it, so I'm sure we're going to see him again. But for Fast 9, I'm okay with just Han. Just hope we get to see a little bit of Brian in Fast 10. Anyway, like I said, this movie's ridiculous, and I'm going to have a blast watching it. I own them all. I can't wait to own this one. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you excited to see this movie? What did you think of the reveal of Han? What do you think of John Cena? If you like this video, please like, please subscribe, please give me a thumbs up. It really helps. And as always, I'll catch you next time.